Okay, so we're going to start off by reviewing over the different types of transformations and what information you need to include when you're talking about those. So you're going to need to pause the video and copy down this table and then press play when you're ready to fill it in. Okay, so if you're ready to fill it in, then we're going to talk about these 4 different types of transformations, okay? We have a reflection. So if you remember, and I'm just going to draw a little sketch, a reflection is like a mirror image, and it's always done over a line. So when you're describing a reflection in words, you need to include one of 2 things. You need to either include the x-axis or the y-axis. You need to tell me which axis the reflection is happening over, or which line is our mirror line, okay? When you're describing a rotation, there's a lot of things that you have to describe, okay? A rotation happens around a certain point. It's usually 0, 0. That point you do not need to always include. However, what you do need to tell me is if I have a triangle, or let's say maybe, yeah, a triangle that I'm going to rotate, okay? If I'm going to rotate it, you need to tell me the number of degrees that it's rotated by, meaning you need to tell me either 90, 270, or 180, okay? And you need to tell me the direction, which means you need to tell me counterclockwise or clockwise, okay? Clockwise goes this way, counterclockwise goes this way, okay? Then we're talking about a translation next. A translation is just a slide, okay? When you're talking about a translation, you need to use the word up or down, or you need to use the word left or right, and you also need to include specific numbers. So for example, 2 left and 3 up. You need to tell me the specific amount it's going side to side and up or down. And then a dilation, you need to include the scale factor. This is the number that you are multiplying by. A dilation is when you either make a shape bigger or smaller, okay? So that you can...
Emily Connie to the office, please. Emily Connie.
Okay, so you can draw in these like little reminders up here of what each of these words mean if that helps you out. So going to the test problems, okay, first of all, there was some confusion about the word bank. It says to use each word once and that some will not be used. So you shouldn't have just listed all of the words down here. There's some that aren't going to be used, okay? So this picture right here is showing a rotation. The rotation is either going to go this way, all the way around to there, or it's going to go this way around to there. So you needed to use the word rotate to describe that it's a rotation, and then you needed to tell me how many degrees. You could have said 90 degrees, or you could have said 270 degrees. There's 2 different answers for this. If you said 90 degrees, that would be this way. You would have to include the word clockwise. If you decided to use 270, you would need to tell me about this way, which is counterclockwise. Okay? This next one is a reflection. So I'm going to reflect over, and the axis that we're using as the mirror line is the y-axis. Okay? And then this last one is a translation. So I translate, and I need to count, and I would use the top point, and I would just go up and over, and I would count. That's myself. So translate up 3 and right 4. You need to use the words up and right and translate. Okay? Now this one was the most difficult one. This one did not include the word bank. You had to use a combination of transformations. The first thing I would do is I would dilate by a scale factor of a half. Okay? So that means that my shape is going to be half the size that it was before. Okay? And then there's 2 ways that you could get from here to here. So you could either reflect over the x-axis, then the y-axis. Or step 2 could be a rotation of 180 degrees. Okay, so either one would get me to step 2.